Hey traders, Rick here with Hit and Run Candlesticks. This is Thursday, January 21st, 2021. I apologize, I'm a little late getting this video out here tonight, but we're getting it out. And I've got seven trade ideas I want to go over. First, I want to touch on the market just a little bit. And I want to remind everybody that we are in earnings season, so be very, very careful. Today I was talking about earnings in the trading room, and honestly, if you're trading earnings, I don't think you have an edge. You have a 50-50 shot. An example is I was in some IBM here. I was in some IBM, and I sold 2/3 of my IBM today for a good little profit, and then I kept one-third of it, and look where we are. I mean, earnings, you look at this chart minus this candle here, well, yeah, minus, you can look at the top half of this candle, and everything seems fine. Everything looks like it's working good, but the earnings just blew it out of the water to the downside. So any money I made today on this will be lost tomorrow. So I just want to remind everybody, earnings is a crazy, crazy thing. And I think you just have to be a special trader to be trading earnings. And really just deep pockets, I guess, is what it amounts to. So be very, very cautious on earnings. Okay, so the SPY here, we're still trending up. Price is still above the T-line. T-line's above the Trendicator. Trendicator is still green, so all is good. If we take a look here, we've got a little bit of support just about at the T-line area. A little resting today, which after, if you consider where we came from, this low down here on the 15th, with a gap up, another gap up, a good bullish day, we're having a little rest day. Makes a whole lot of sense to me. So I think all is good right now in the SPY. FNGU had a crazy gap up yesterday, and today we're having a little bit of rest, a little bit of a pullback. Same with this kind of a move up sort of warrants a little bit of consolidation, and that's what's happening here. So we'll watch this. If it comes down tomorrow, we'll watch it where it comes to, and we'll watch the speed and how it acts during the day. That might give us a clue whether we're headed for trouble or it's just a simple little pullback here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Overall, I'm still pretty bullish on the market. All right, let's take a look at these trade ideas real quick. What I'm going to do tonight is a little tiny bit different. I'm actually going to go to our naked chart, and this is what we're going to look at tonight. And very simple, kind of in a nutshell, a very common chart for me is a chart that has trended up and a chart that has pulled back. And then I'm simply looking for signs of bullishness. It always helps if that chart pulls back to a trend or support, something like that. But that's not absolutely guaranteed. That's not absolutely needed. Even if this trend line wasn't here, which we're not exactly touching it, but if that trend line wasn't there, we could simply draw a line right where this low was, right here, and let's come over there like that. And one could argue we're sitting on support now, or support has been created right in here. So anyway, this is like I said, this is a favorite chart pattern of mine, just up and a pullback, and then look for those buyers coming in like that. So let's take a look at VIAC here. VIAC up, nice pullback, and here we are headed up. So when I look at this chart, I'm thinking, I really like this chart. I'm thinking to myself, where would I not like this chart? And one of the simple things to do is go back and ask yourself why you like this chart. This is what I do. Why do I like this chart? Well, I like the chart because it's rallied up. I like the chart because it had a pullback here. Here we can put a little line down there, a little flag right in there. So we had a nice little pullback, and now we broke out. So where would I dislike this chart? Well, I wouldn't like this chart if we started coming back through the breakout point. It's just some common sense. That's all it is, common sense. So this might be a good place for a stop area that I might use, 43.95 right in here. I can also see total logic by putting the stop down here at that pivot low. Every trader is just a little bit different. Everybody looks at a chart just slightly different. The thing of it is we have to make our own plans. We have to make our own trades. And if somebody was to like this trade, you've got to make this you've got to plan this the way you want to plan the trade. This is something we teach at Hit and Run Candlesticks, also at Right Way Options. And this sort of thing, how to set the chart up, how to look for the chart. So right now I'm looking at VIAC. I'll probably be looking at something in the neighborhood of 43.60, maybe a little higher even. Really, it depends where the chart is bought. Another chart I like, which I actually bought this today. We ended up buying, what did we buy? We bought the April 40. The month that we bought was April, and then the 40 strike on it. We bought this one here. So here we can draw a line from this low, this pop up, went sideways, pulled back, established a low, and then we're going to draw it up right to this this price action right here, and then we're just going to let the rest of it go where it wants to go. So up we go here. We're not quite at that trend line. I think we're close enough. Let's go ahead and put another line on here like this. This is just pointing out these lows right in here. We've got this low, and just shows how this is starting to flatten out a little bit and trade sideways. To me, that's a very, very nice chart. If I was just to put a parallel line up here like that, you can see how that's just being boxed in, nice and tight, kind of like a pop out of the box pattern. I can see where we may we may actually add to this position inside this area, just like we bought it in this area today, or I can see where we might add to it on a breakout. Breakout maybes tomorrow, maybe next week. We don't know. Can't predict that. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on that. We'll keep that stop in there, and we'll just watch how this chart starts to. We'll just watch its progress, and then watch for that move up. And if it starts to break down, then we'll put our stop in. JMJI. Nice chart, JMJI. I like what it's doing here. We popped up, we failed in here, we rallied up, and then we ended up failing again, creating a high, low, lower high, and a lower low. And then from here, we started to move up a little bit. Low, high, higher low, higher high, and now we're starting to run a little bit flat. So let's put another line up there. We'll put this line on. We're going to, let's actually do this. There we go. I like that. All right. So I put this line up here. All of a sudden, I see things like this. We have support, support, support. You can see we have a little touches right in here. You can see where we failed here. And now we've broken out over that area. Consolidation, nice flat trading. This just might be a buy area right in here. Right in there. Whoops, that's kind of big, isn't it? And let's change color. There we go. Still kind of big. There we are. So this just might be a little buy area right in here. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask myself why I like this chart. And when I figure out why I like this chart, this will tell me where I would not like this chart. And that helps me determine where my stop's going to be. So as I look at this chart here, we're moving sideways. I'm really kind of thinking I wouldn't like this chart a little bit lower here. I don't want it to fall down, but if it did, I think I would be okay with this. So I'm not sure I'm going to put the stop right in here. I think I would probably maybe rather have a stop in this area. We'll squeeze something in there. How's that right there? Around that 39.39 area, 39.35. So if this started to move sideways, even slide down a little bit, we'll watch for those buy signals, and then we'll look for that breakout to the upside on JMIA. OSTK, this was actually a trade idea a couple days ago, and it's really starting to set up here. What a nice candle today. We've got a low, we've got some lows, and then we're moving up here. You can see how price is moving right to trend. Let's put another line on here, something like this. And I just want to put a line to make my eyes look at how we've got a candle just above that line, above the line, above the line, above the line, above the line, and above the line. Everything is starting to move sideways. This kind of makes it so that this area right in here just might be a pretty good buy area, or even a slight little breakout. So OSTK. Again, I'll just simply ask myself, why do I like this chart? Well, I like it because it's been trending up. I like it because right here, it's right in this area right here, seems like the sellers aren't strong enough to take it any lower. So if the sellers were to get through this line after these multiple candles holding up, that would tell me that maybe I don't want to be in this chart. So it's real simple looking at a chart. Solo, check out Solo. Solo had a really nice day today. So we're going to put this trend line on here like that. You can see where we've had this nice little rounded bottom. That right there, that's a pretty nice rounded bottom right in there. And then we broke out. We started to move back. We have a little doji, a little hammer, and a nice little candle today that broke out over this trend line, this downtrend line. So we have a nice little flag here. We're going to put up another line across here, right there. And where I went to was this high. You can see a couple of touches in there. This candle came up, couldn't get through, and finally we broke out. And here we are testing this horizontal line and the diagonal line. And you can see we've broken out now. So why do I like the chart? I like the chart because it broke out of the flag. Where would I not like the chart? If it came back below that breakout line. So right in this area here, right in here, would make a pretty good stop area. This area right, well, kind of crossing into that, right in this sideways of this candle would make a good entry area, even on a slight breakout for Solo, S-O-L-O. Here's MRNA. You can see this trend in MRNA. Look how this has gone from a low to a high, to a higher low, to a higher high, to a higher low, and it even went to a higher high here. So this thing is really starting to shape up, look pretty nice. In fact, I think I'm going to just create a parallel line here, duplicate it. There we go. So inside this area, to me, looks like a buy. On a breakout, looks like a buy to me. So we'll definitely be shopping for that. So where would we not like this chart? Well, low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, bullish candle. So if this started to break down today's candle below the low, that would actually put us back into this higher high and a higher low. But if we went below this area, we could start putting in a lower low, and that little move from here, 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 and then down, that would indicate the sellers are taking control back. On the last chart I have here, and I bought this today. I thought this was a pretty nice chart, so I bought this one today, is FUBO. FUBO. We're going to start here with a trend line and we're going to come up to this candle, and the rest of it we're going to let go wherever it wants to go. So a touch, and here we are. And we had a nice touch on this pullback today. Remember early on, I had mentioned it, my favorite chart pattern, and it doesn't matter whether it's in a rounded bottom breakout strategy, a breakout strategy, anything. It just does not matter. I still look for an entry when a chart rallies up and pulls back, and then I start seeing signs of buyers. This is something I always look for. This is always my entry type chart. Maybe the rally up is not so steep. Maybe it's a little bit lighter, not, like I say, not quite as steep. Maybe it's something like that. And it's still, we have a low, a high, and a pullback to a higher low, or even a double bottom, or, to support. Basically, when we start to see buyers start coming in, just like we did on FUBO here. So low, we actually came up, made a high up here, back down, up, back down, and now it looks like we're moving up. So again, it's real simple. I'm just going to ask myself why I like this trade, and I like it because it broke out. So where would I not like this trade? Well, I might not like this trade if it started to come back below the breakout line about this 131.50. I'm actually going to move that up a little up here about this 31.70 mark. So basically right in this area, right in there. Again, I want to remind everybody, it's so important that when you're looking at a chart, you're able to make sense of it. You're able to say, this is why I like the chart. This is why I'm going to buy the chart. And then put your plan on paper. Put your lines up there. Put your stop in there. You can even come in here and you can come in here and write stop, and you can put your stop at whatever amount you want to put your stop at. You can put all that right there on the chart. That way, it's always looking at you. You're always noticing it, and that might help follow those rules when it comes to a stop. You could do the same thing with price or taking profits. If you want to put some lines up there where you think profit should be taken, you can put some lines up there. You can put a little box. Oops, there we go. You can put a little box in there and write the word profit, just so it helps you remember to take profits at some point when it moves up. And again, the stop is so it helps remind you where the stop is, and to obey that stop. All right, I want to thank everybody watching the video. Again, I apologize for it being so late tonight. You guys all take care, and we'll see you tomorrow in the trading room.